It's Today in Music. I'm Adam.
I'm Alex.
We are here in Manhattan, which you may hear outside because Manhattan is loud, and we are super excited, so excited because we are here today with Chvrches in the house, spending some time with us. This is awesome. Thank you guys for being here.
Hello.
Thanks for
having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You
we're
get
excited.
me G'd up.
Right on.
Let's go.
Ready
Get
to play.
excited. Yeah.
Thank you. How are you guys doing? You good?
Great.
Yeah.
We're good, thanks. Yeah, we don't come to this part of the city very often.
No.
So, yeah, it was cool.
Cool.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So, new year, new music? Yeah? What can you tell me about the new music?
I'm afraid to answer. I don't know what we're allowed to say. We had an incident recently about saying too much, but
Not because we're like super precious about those things, but because you want it to be like a surprise, you know?
right.
You want the element of like surprise so that when like people get to hear the music, it's like exciting and like, I don't know. The
People
element.
still get excited about music.
Yeah, but then if you know everything about it before it happens, it's not as fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a new record that will be coming out in May, and the first single for the record, maybe it's out now, depending when people listen to this. But yeah, it goes on streaming on the 31st of January, and it will be available everywhere else on the 2nd of February. And it's from the record. It's from the record. Ian's looking at me like I'm crazy.
What's the name of that first?
The first track is going to be called Get Out.
Okay.
Which we've established is much more fun to say in an American accent than
Get
a
out.
Scottish one. Because if we say it, we either do the glottal stop where you drop the T, so it's get out.
I like
Or
that.
listen.
I
That
kind of like
sounds
that
way
more.
better.
Big
Yeah.
hard T's were like get out.
Have you seen the movie Get Out?
Yes.
We have, yes. I thought it was amazing, but
It's unrelated.
it's unrelated. It's not written about that. But I thought it was great. I saw it in the cinema twice.
Same, yeah.
yeah.
Twice.
Our
Yeah.
song's called Get Out because it says Get Out a bunch in the chorus.
Yeah. What will we
We're
name
like,
it?
what are we going to call it? All right, call
We
it
will
that.
name it. It's a recurring phrase. But
Good
yeah.
reasons, Eddie. Well, I know that you working with Greg Kurstin on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit about working with him? He's worked with so many great artists.
We could be here all day talking about that guy. He's a god. Like, musically, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never met anyone with his ability in terms of like intuition and not trying to force you down a road, but understanding what you're trying to achieve musically as a producer and amplifying that and offering a way forward like collaboratively. He's a really special guy. It's crazy.
It kind of just felt like we had another keyboard player in the band. You know, it wasn't like your idea of what like a record producer is going to be like, you know. It was just like we would just kind of jam out some ideas, or he would like start playing around on a keyboard and we'd all be like, that's amazing. Quick, write something.
I think the best thing that I could say about Greg is that when he starts something, immediately I could write 5 songs over it.
Wow.
And there's something about the way he plays and the way he voices chords and the way he reacts to what you're doing in the room. Things just start to evolve. It's like a conversation without speaking to each other.
Do
And
you-
it's really cool.
Do you guys bring completed songs into the studio, or you kind of like that collaborative?
Nothing, not even one note. Every single thing done in the room.
Wow.
Some producers like to. I mean, we'd never worked with the producer until this point. We considered it really important to establish ourselves as writers and producers first and foremost. But then when the opportunity, third album, the opportunity came up to work with people of that caliber, we made the conscious decision to give it a go. We could have done one session, it didn't work, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But there was a really special energy in that studio with him that we had to do it.
And Get Out was the first song we did with him, day one. We just
Literally.
and then,
The first one.
The first note, that you'll know when you hear the song. It's got, if you've already heard it, you know what I'm talking about. It's got a really strong riff at the beginning. Day one, first note, first chord. It's just weird.
And it
Magic.
just takes off from there.
Well, I was just going to say that I guess at first when we were talking about having the producer conversation, I was a little worried about it because I didn't like the idea of somebody kind of not telling you what to do, but just kind of giving you. There is a culture where people write songs and shop them around and give them to people.
Sure.
And to me, I'm like, there's no point in us trying to do songs that sound like X number of other female vocals on the radio because that already exists. And I don't think we were in the business of wanting someone to write the songs for us. But then it was just about finding the right person to collaborate with. And I think for me, because Greg has done such a wide variety of stuff, when you talk about the sound of Greg Kurstin, it's so broad. Whereas there are certain other producers that I think you know what their sound is because they write roughly the same stuff for everyone.
Yeah.
And we did 2 records of like figuring out what Chvrches was. And then we were like, okay, so we know that. Nobody can tell us what that is. But where do you take that? And I think that was quite a fun thing to do.
I think if you want X, maybe you go to a specific producer. If you want Y, you go to another producer because those are examples of producers who do one thing and do it
Neither
really
is
well.
wrong, but it's just
It
different.
was never going to be for us. If you want to take your band to the next level, if you want to take your creativity and turn it into something special, you go to a guy like Greg.
Yeah.
And I think that's why when you talk about who he works with now, you only hear Paul McCartney, Foo Fighters, Adele. Like it's
Don't sound the same in
Not
any
really the
way.
same.
No, but it's all just greatness. That
right?
is, yeah.
So it was a special opportunity.
It's like a kind of Jedi puppet master. Like he just like, well, you know what I mean? Like he assesses the situation and he's like, bloop, 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 this is what this man wants to do. Let's do that.
Yeah.
What about Dave Stewart? Did he come
Yeah.
in and collaborate with you guys?
Dave is amazing. We ended up not. None of the stuff is on the album, but I really love that guy. He taught us a lot in a short space of time. Really like reminded us about the importance of art and artistry in the music business. He is still like a true artist.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with every aspect and every detail of what he does.
He has just a great mindset as well, and he's always encouraging us to take risks and do stuff that we like is kind of outside of our comfort zone in a lot of ways, which was really useful because that happened quite early on in the process. So it kind of set the tone in many ways for what followed. And we came up with some good stuff that, you know, maybe
Yeah.
we'll see the light of day some
I
other
hope
time.
so. It's just by the time we got to the end, we were like, these two things are quite separate.
Yeah.
But I think he was like, I don't really know if he would like to be called a mentor, but I think he was really a really helpful person to talk to. And he just kind of poked at you and made you think about things. Like, even while he was like, the Eurythmics were a pop band, but they were always focused on making art, and he was like, you guys kind of fall between these two worlds. So rather than looking at as a, oh, well, we're not pop enough for this, but we're like too alternative for this, like he was like, why don't you look at that as a cool opportunity? Because then it means that you guys get to do the stuff that all these other pop bands don't get to do. And he was like, why do you think about just the music and everything else is like promo to like, you know, hope people hear this song? He was like, it should all be part of the same piece of art. And maybe that sounds like, can I say, I was going to say something. I was going to say wanky. Can I say-
You can totally say that.
maybe that sounds like wanky
Yeah.
or arrogant or something, but like it makes a lot of sense because he was like, why are you not just, he was like, it should all be about the storytelling and it should all be part of the same story. And then he was like, it's depressing to see bands now not taking that, like looking at the stuff as a chore and not looking at it as like a cool way to like expand on the story of the songs. And then he was like, that's what we always did, me and Annie. And we were like, write that down. Anything that you and Annie did is fine by me.
I'll take that. Yeah.
We didn't work with a lot of people on the album, and the stuff that's not Greg, and there's one song by another really talented guy, Steve, we did with him, Steve Mack, but the rest of it was all our own. And through that
Nice remix.
process, taking the session with Dave was about someone calling us and saying, would you be interested in working with Dave Stewart? And us saying, well,
No duh.
maybe we're about to go to the source here. Like that music is in our DNA. Like the kind of juxtaposition of artistic lyrics or emotional lyrics and that production, his style of production, is through everything we do. And it was supposed to be just a conversation, and it turned into writing, and it turned into a friendship as well. You know, go and have dinner with him. He's a really
He's
fun
always
guy.
wise. If you ask him a question, he's always wise, I think.
He's got some of the best, and I won't do that here, but he's got some of the best rock stories you
Oh, I
could
bet.
possibly
We'll have to have a
imagine.
separate
That's-
combo
yeah.
about that.
Off camera.
Yeah. So you guys talked about, one thing obviously that some pop bands don't get to do, or bands in general. You guys have been immortalized in a comic book. Can you tell us
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that? How that all came together?
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things that you definitely don't turn down when it comes your way, an opportunity like that.
It's a real honour.
Yeah.
Well, and I think I had to give credit to these guys because I feel like it's been so fun to be able to live in that pop world, but also live in this, like in our minds, we always think of it as like, well, we're in like an alternative indie band, but we make pop songs or whatever. And it's because these guys are such fans and appreciators of video games and comics
Just
and
say
that.
it.
Well, like that kind of
Nerd. Call us nerds.
well, like in a nice way. Like what's that Portlandia sketch where they're like, oh my god, I'm such a nerd. And they're like, no, that's offensive to real nerds. But you guys are like real dyed-in-the-wool nerds.
Card-carrying nerds.
But I think that it's fun because you love how creative all those things are, and it's like I feel like because we've talked about that and people know that, then we kind of overlap with that world. And the people that were kind of bringing Archie Comics into this new era had wanted to put bands in the comic, and then they asked us. And we said yeah, and they drew us to look like us, but also cooler than we are. And I'm totally down with that.
15% horror.
Yep. Yeah, you have to be 15% more angular in comic form than you are in real life. Yeah.
I've never been in a comic, so I didn't know that. It's good to know.
But yeah, you should ask for that when you commission it.
What do you guys have planned for shows, for touring? Like, what are you looking forward to in the coming months?
Really looking forward to getting back on the road, and especially to do Governor's Ball here in New York.
Oh,
That's
nice.
going to feel pretty scary, but pretty awesome. Yeah, really
be great.
excited.
I'm just
about
looking
it.
forward to playing and then going up the road to the house. It's unusual that you get to play a show,
get time.
the gravity of something like Governor's Ball, and then just go home to your bed.
Yeah.
Like, we all relocated here for the start of this album process, so all just stayed. It's great. I love it.
And
yeah.
I think like we're kind of at the stage where we're figuring out how to play the new songs live and how we'll work that into the set with the older stuff. And I think it's important for us to want to stay faithful to the stuff that people like already, but also, make it a proper live show and a live experience. So we're just trying to figure out how to squish all that together.
When you're in the studio, do you think about that consciously? Like, how will this translate live? And should we or should we not do something on the track? No.
Not really, no. I don't tend
more-
to think about that much.
Yeah, it's more like once the song is done, then we're like, oh, that
yeah,
bit
how
will
do
be
we do
fun
that?
to play live.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's more,
yeah.
rather than trying to like design these live moments.
Yeah.
It's more like once you're kind of sitting with the mixes or something, you're like, oh, that'll be fun. Oh, I think that'll be a good bit.
I think nothing outside, in our creative process, nothing is happening outside of the moment, like initially. It's all happening spontaneously and just reacting to each other in that kind of first instance.
Yeah.
And then, like Lauren says, down the line, as it starts to materialize, you realize or you consider ways to amplify your music for the live
Yeah.
realm.
So you guys gonna rock some pyrotechnics and smoke machines? Of course. How big is it gonna be?
I'm kind of saying, I'm
Laser
on a
arms.
never say never, like, yeah, for all of that stuff.
Like Ian can fly on like, he can be on a zip line
Why do I
with
get
this
to
guitar.
fly?
Well, because I feel like
You're
you'll
the
be play-
singer.
if you're. I don't want to fly. I know. Pink's already done it, and also in my mind he's like, because I know what's on the record. I'm like, there's a bit where I can imagine you with your guitar on a zip line. That's how I would like.
I'm playing that bit, by the way.
Oh.
It's already been discussed.
Oh, so you're the zip line then.
I'm the zip line.
He's offering me a sum of money
Voluntary.
so that
I
he can
told
play that
him.
part.
You're gonna pay him off so you can play the bit where we're not talking about
Yeah.
properly, but.
You'll all see in time.
There's a bit that's really fun, and I'm terrible
Or
at
you won't, 'cause
guitar.
you'll be zipping across the
Yeah,
ceiling.
I'm terrible at it.
Heard it here
Even
first.
with-
There will be a zip line.
Yeah.
Maybe you can both get it. No one needs to fight. You can go past each other.
he was
You can
just-
do half and half. You can do the first line. He can do the
yeah.
second line.
No, he was too foolish. He was foolish enough to also put bass guitar on that song, so he's got to play that.
Cool.
I just let him.
See
'cause
what
I
I'm
knew
working
Double
with
it was
friends.
in my
neck
hands.
guitar,
Double
and then
neck,
bass.
yeah.
No.
Somehow,
Don't
It's a
don't
good
offer him
bit
away.
though.
Adam.
Like, I am terrible at guitar, but when that bit comes on, I kind of. I always
Bit of
when
air
I'm
guitar.
air guitaring, I always do a lot with my left hand. Like, what am I doing? I'm really
good,
like
yeah.
tapping
That's
a lot.
shredded.
It's mostly like
Yeah,
that.
shredding out. Yeah.
Anyway.
It'll be our job to
I'll
Those
do it.
identify
people just
what-
listening, she's
Nobody
doing
knows what we're
full-on
talking
80s
about.
Yeah.
metal shred.
And this is also
Yeah.
really boring because nobody's heard this song
Right.
yet, so they don't know what we're talking
Anyway,
Maybe we can hold it.
pyrotechnics would be good. I'm afraid of them though. I'm afraid of people
about. When
being.
you'll catch fire.
Right.
Was that? Did that not?
You need
Fire
a
is
fire.
scary
That happens
sometimes.
sometimes.
You need
Yeah.
a fire marshal.
Did
to
James
have pyro.
Hetfield from Metallica?
Yeah,
not
James
have any
Hetfield
good-
got set on fire.
Yeah.
With Guns N' Roses.
Michael was on fire too.
By Guns N' Roses?
No, not by Guns N' Roses. That would be a story. No, when they were touring.
Like Guns N' Roses set Metallica on fire. Fire?
Also,
You heard it
this
here
just
first.
in,
Guns
today
N'
music.
Roses sets Metallica on fire.
That's
Metallica on
metal.
fire.
That's metal.
Speaking, that's a great transition. Speaking of fire, we're gonna do rapid
Quick fire.
fire.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire questions.
Good interview.
We'll
Rapid
alternate, and then we can just go down the line. So
Cool.
Are
be
they
like,
about
cool.
Metallica?
so be like, yeah.
All about Metallica. Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
dear.
First
I'm not
question.
gonna know.
Favorite Metallica album?
That's a good one. Beatles
Master
or
of Puppets.
Beatles or Rolling Stones?
Beatles.
Beatles.
Oh, Beatles.
Okay, Michael Jackson or Prince?
Prince.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, 100%.
Oh.
Whoa.
You just have to say one
Yeah.
or the other.
Nah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't need to be mean.
I have to be really good on that one.
Intelligence or sense of humor?
Sense of humor.
Sense of humor.
Sense of humor, huh?
It's unanimous. Okay, ninjas or pirates?
Ninjas.
Ninjas.
I just want to say pirates to be different.
Vampires or werewolves?
Vampires.
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 Okay, this is a big one. Star Wars or
Star
Star
Wars.
Trek?
Star Wars, yeah.
Didn't even
Star
have to hear
Wars.
the other one.
Saxophone or trumpet?
Trumpet.
Trumpet.
I'd bend them both, to be honest. But let's go trumpet.
Okay.
Wow.
Rivers or lakes?
Rivers.
Yeah, it goes.
Lakes.
Lakes.
Oceans or mountains?
Mountains.
Oceans.
Mountain.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Tea.
Coffee.
Would you rather binge TV show or watch a good movie?
Watch a good movie.
Binge.
Binge
Yes.
TV show, hardcore.
Good.
I'm just adding shit.
Just annoying.
All right, let's switch the order. Favorite sweet treat?
Sticky toffee pudding.
Wow. I don't know if that's a
It's an
fair.
English, a British thing.
Reese's peanut cups.
Lemon meringue pie.
Oh.
Dream collaboration.
Um,
Can it be somebody dead?
Sure. It's a dream.
It's true.
Robert Smith.
Oh, nice.
I don't know.
The two
You
guys
go
next to you.
first. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bowie.
Jeff Buckley.
You stole me.
Is a hamburger a sandwich? Yes or no?
Certainly not.
No. What? Well, because it's a different.
course it is.
But it's a different kind of bun that's specifically for
It's
that.
still like 2 bits of bready product with meat and
What? So next time you're like, I'm gonna get a sandwich for lunch, I'll know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just getting a Big Mac.
I'm
But
not
when you
having
go
that.
into
I'm gonna say no,
the hamburger chain that starts with an M, like they refer to it as a sandwich, don't they?
but only the fish one,
No.
don't they?
And the
A
chicken
McRib
one.
sandwich.
The chicken one's
Really?
a
Do you, want,
sandwich.
do you want a meal or just a sandwich?
I
don't
thought that
call-
was just like an American thing, and I was like, "Gee."
We've got 2 no's so far. We gotta
Yeah.
final.
Definitely a sandwich.
This is why I love to
That's
watch
it. You're out
It's a
the
good
band.
question.
So with
Go
that,
away. Off. Okay.
with that all important question, we will end our talk. This has been fantastic.
Oh,
Thank
That was
you.
fun.
Thank you so much for taking the time, you guys.